During this video, we'll go through the first time setup for using FastTrack Automation Studio for the logon process. We'll cover downloading the software, installing to an administrator's machine. We'll copy FastTrack files up to the NetLogon share. We'll make our GPO configurations to ensure that FastTrack will operate correctly. Then we'll go ahead and configure a test user. We'll discuss setting up all users to point to the FastTrack logon process, and then we'll log on a test user to verify that we are connected to the FastTrack logon process. So let's begin by going to fasttrackscript.com and download the software. Once you've downloaded the software, you can go ahead and install it to an administrator's machine. It's not necessary to install FastTrack to the server, so you can just do it on any desktop or laptop that your administrators will be using. The most important piece is that the users of the studio, which is what we're installing right now, have to have privileges to write to the NetLogon share. Once you've installed FastTrack, we'll do step one, which is to copy FastTrack files to the NetLogon share. We'll do that by going to Logon and start setup new. And all we have to do at this point is just follow the directions within the wizard. So we're going to go ahead and navigate out to our NetLogon share. And we'll go ahead and copy our files out to NetLogon. This is all done for you automatically by FastTrack. Once we've completed that, we do need to make some settings to GPO to ensure that the FastTrack process runs correctly. We've simplified this process by creating some ADMX and ADML files. So at this point, what you'll want to do is download those files. You can do that with the link inside the wizard. Once those files are downloaded, we're going to go ahead and unzip them. Once you've extracted the files, you'll want to copy the contents to the policy definitions folder of sysvol. That's assuming that you are using Active Directory replication. If you're using a single server, then it's the policy definitions in the root of your server. At this point, we need to go to our domain controller, verify that the FastTrack GPO settings are made correct. So on my domain controller in Group Policy Management, I'll go ahead and edit my domain policy. And under Computer Configuration, Policies, Administrative Templates, you'll see that we now have a new folder called FastTrack Logon. We just want to go in and make sure this is all enabled. If not, just go ahead and switch it to an enabled state. And that's all you have to do in setting up your Group Policy Manager in order to properly run FastTrack logons. So the process of setting up your environment for FastTrack Logon is almost complete. What we need to do now is either set up a test user in Active Directory to point them to the new FastTrack process, which is called ftlogon.exe up on your NetLogon share. Or if you're going to use, say, an OU, then you'll want to go into that OU and set the logon script to point to our process. Once you're done publishing FastTrack, and you're ready to go live, then you'll go in and set it to the entire domain, that so all users will be utilizing the FastTrack logon process. So we'll keep the very basic default settings on the builder, and we will turn on the splash screen so that we can test the user to ensure that we have communication with the end user in the FastTrack logon process. You can check back for other videos. We'll begin to go into more detail on the different settings that can be done at each level of the builder. But for today's video, we want to get you up and started with programming FastTrack Automation Studio. So let's move over to a test user and go ahead and log them onto the network and confirm that we are communicating with the FastTrack process. So there's our splash screen. That gives us a good indication that we know that the FastTrack logon process is working. And now we can head back to the editor and we can start programming the software for how we want the behavior to take place for our users when they log on to our network. So we've just completed a base install of FastTrack. Now you'll have everything you need in order to start programming. Once you're at the studio and you go into Logon, we no longer need to set up new because we've completed that. So if we want to edit our configuration, we'll just go into Edit Config. We can work on it and we can always come back to it in the future and continue to program by using the home area of FastTrack.